a few people who I didn't expect to see today. So if you took the opportunity or took the time out of your schedule, considered the COVID stuff and all that, and you showed up here today, you are in for a treat. One of the easiest things I could do for Sister Scarborough is make her homegoing celebration unforgettable. Okay? Now, first, let me introduce who I am so you can get a little familiar with your speaker today. My government name is Mr. Jean-Tu Coignet Bird. I am the grandson of Sister Scarborough. Sister Scarborough and I was raised by the same person. Her name happened to be Clotilde HONEYBUSS. Sister Scarborough is the last member of her household to pass away. So instead of this being a traditional funeral that you guys may be accustomed to, we're going to do this a little different, and it's going to be done the HONEYBUSS way, if you will. Okay? You're about to hear some things, again, that you didn't expect to hear. Okay? So, that being said, right now would be a great opportunity to grab you a writing utensil, if you have one. If you do not have a writing utensil, you can pull out your iPhone or your Android right quick, and you might want to get a little bit of this on film so you can show it to the other family members who were unable to make it today. All right, continue to set your expectations. I will not be up here long, okay? We're gonna make this quick, easy, and understandable, okay? Sister Scarborough was important to quite a few people, all right? So I'm about to bring you from the low state and take you all the way up high, okay? Ruby was in a couple of, let's say, relationships that she really shouldn't have been in. You know, domestic violence, you know, your husband beating on you and that kind of thing. And then she ran into Robert Scarborough, which was her late husband. And everything changed after that.
Mommy.
Just to give you a little background on Ruby. Okay? Moving on from that, one of the things that Ruby used to do about every 3 weeks was she would come to her to HONEYBUSS's house, and she would pick me up to go grocery shopping with me. Let me be brutally honest today. I hated to go grocery shopping with Ruby. Okay? You couldn't just go to Crest, get the groceries, and leave. No, you went to Crest to do most of the grocery shopping. Then you went to Outwells because they got a special deal on meat. Then you went to another grocery store to get a special on something she seen a clipping out of the newspaper. And in between that, oh, we just happened to be by Sears. Let's stop by Sears. I'm like, oh. So nothing was easy. Okay. I am the very last individual that her mother, Clotilde HONEYBUSS, raised from small up through, let's say, 19 years old. I'm the very last one, okay? So I'm cut from that. That's an old law, okay? Her birthday is August 28th, 1900, for those who did not know that, okay? That's who I was raised by, that's who Ruby was raised by, all right? Carrying on from there. Ruby asked me to do quite a few things that I had no intention of ever doing in my life. Okay. It's easy for me to say that, and you have a certain understanding. It's a little different to hear it come from her lips, and that's part of the treat that you're in for today. Okay? So, without any further ado, everybody needs somebody, okay? It doesn't matter how old you are right now, you had best start making plans. Everybody needs somebody. Okay? It may be your auntie, it may be your grandmother, it may be your mother, it may even be your neighbor. But it would behoove you, if you haven't recruited somebody yet, you better start recruiting somebody, because as you see, your end can come at any time. All right? With that being said, I had to wear many hats, being Ruby's chosen go-to grandson. It's a pretty long list here, so I'm gonna give you the short version. I was a car specialist. I was a door sweep repairman, a telephone operator and installer, a burglar alarm rep, a backdoor fixer, a carport fixer, a tree cutter and dragger to the front yard, a grass cutter, and edger. You know you can't cut Ruby's grass without edging it up. Okay? Don't think you're getting out of there that quick. Okay? Ruby was very subtle, okay, and careful of how she dealt with me. She would give me an easy request. Jantu, I need you to come up here and, set my clocks. Everybody knows time just went back an hour. So now, you go up there and you set, let's say, 15 minutes time out of your schedule so where you can go up there and set our clocks for them. That was just to get you up there. Okay? Stay with me. That was just to get you up there. Once you get up there and you change the clock on the microwave and you change the clock in the living room and you change the clock in her room, by that time, you gave her enough time to think of 10 more things to do before you get out of that house. Okay? All right. So, just in case we might have a few doubting Thomases here, you're about to hear a little bit of that. Okay? Now, I used to have to, after my nice Saturday with Ruby at 4 or 5 different grocery stores, if I'd done a good job and I was helping her out really good and everything, I would have the grave opportunity to say, and she would say to me, yeah, and tomorrow be ready at 8 o'clock, you're gonna go to church with me tomorrow on Sunday. And I used to have to sit right there in that pew and listen to everything. I was a little boy with the program in my hand, looking at that clock. There used to be a clock on this wall right here. I'm looking at the program and looking at the time like, hey, they already passed that part. We're supposed to be almost ready to go out here. You know how kids were back then. All right. So instead of hearing my voice, let's go ahead and let you hear Ruby's voice here a little bit. Now, brace yourself for some of this. Now, we're not going to get X-rated or nothing that. It won't be nothing more vulgar than what you listen to on the radio on the way up here. Here we go. Here's one of the first random requests. I'm gonna play that one more time. Because the millennials didn't get that. So I'm gonna play that one more time. When have you ever heard of anybody using coal oil for first aid in the last 40 years, 40, 50 years? Coal oil? Come on now, Ruby. Coal oil. Next, how about a different type of representative? Let's see what we have here.
Yeah, I really
Moving right along.
Good evening. I hate to bother you, but I need to see my car insurance report start this week, please. I don't mean to keep on bothering you. Goodbye.
Okay, those are a couple of regular requests. Just in case you thought that was easy, keep listening.
Lord Jesus, the same old story. This turd is sticking out his butt. And when the police trying to get up here, Roy, came moving it is sticking out there. Nasty. Sticking out his butt. It's strong and I can't get it out. But
Now, when your grandmother asks you to come up there and you get that turd out of his butt, it's hard on the back of his butt. Miss Ruby would be glad for you to go ahead and take care of that for your grandma. Okay, many thoughts crossed my mind, and I thought, how do you fix your mouth to ask somebody to come up here and get a turd out of a dog's butt? So, just in case some of you didn't know, her dog was more important than you. Her dog was more important than you, and her dog was definitely more important than you. Okay? And that wasn't just one time. Okay? That happened over and over and over. All right? But maybe you don't believe me. So let's have another one.
Yes, you gotta wait a second, okay?
it was a brief day. The thing didn't come up. This dog flies. Is after this dog he needs a bath. Please, please. You do it all over it. Goodbye.
Now, mind you, she left me that message at 4 o'clock, knowing that I get off work at 5 o'clock. So can you imagine, you just spent all day at work, you tired, you may have kids to go take care of, and this, that, and the third, and you check your voicemail and you hear that. What you gonna do? Okay? So it took a lot for me to keep my mind right when those type of requests came at me. So one scripture that I believed helped me through that, because I'm quite a bit of a visual learner. I believe it's Revelations 3:20, I believe, where he states, I stand at the door and knock. Okay? So me as an adult and receiving that word, I'm like, wow. So everywhere I am, everything I'm doing, he's standing right there at the door. Okay? I believe it's Psalms is where he says he knows your inmost being. So not only is he standing at the door, he knows your thoughts. Okay? So when the thought crossed my mind to where I say, man, I got a hot date, I got to cool off after work, I'm not going to clean no dog boo-boo. Okay? Before I let myself get in the way, I consider Jesus standing at that door, and he knows exactly what I'm thinking. You know your grandma needs help, and she asked you to do it. She didn't ask Jim, Joe, and Sally. She asked you to do it. So I need you to get up and do it. Similar to the story of Jonah. The Lord told him to go over here and give the word to some heathens. he got on the ship and took off the opposite direction. Okay? Because he didn't want to do that. You need to follow the commands of God and not follow Jim, Jane, and Sally and everything they would do. Okay? All right. Now, maybe that wasn't quite enough. Maybe I didn't drive home the stick close enough. So let's get a little different. Let's say you have a fear of mice. Okay, we have a lot of women here, so I'm pretty sure you have a fear of mice, or some people. That's right. So when you're dealing with Sister Scarborough, she's not concerned with what your weaknesses are. She's concerned with you squaring away whatever the business is that she asked you to do. For example, I came up there one day and she said, Jontu, you know that dresser right there? I opened that drawer to get me some underwear out of there and I seen a mouse. I said, okay, Ruby, what drawer was it? She said, that drawer right there. Do you know? Well, first of all, I told you, nothing is as it seems with Ruby. You think you just gonna look in that drawer and see maybe mouse turds or something and then close the drawer and be good. Let me tell you, when I opened that drawer, it was a mouse nest with like 5 baby mice in it. I opened that drawer and they all did like that. And I closed that door so quick. That drawer so quick. I never seen anything like that in my life, and I'm thinking, Ruby, did you know that it was several mice in there? She said, yeah. I said, that would have been nice to know before I opened that drawer. So I bet you're wondering, okay, what'd you do after that? So I went and got a big trash can in and rolled it in from outside, opened the lid on it, took that drawer out, threw the trash can, closed the trash can, and put it outside, okay, to be picked up the trash. I'm like, good Lord, please stop with the request. All right. So now, if that wasn't enough to deal with that type of visual, let me give you one more scenario, and I'll translate afterwards.
That's not.
So for my millennials in here, Ruby likes deals. One of her major things was shop till you drop. Ruby likes deals. She came across a deal with, she may have went to the Family Dollar or something, and she came across a deal for some rat traps, okay? The rat traps had 5 rat traps in each pack. She handed me 3 packs of rat traps and wanted me to sit all 15 rat traps. I set 10 of those rat traps and hid the other pack so she couldn't find it, okay? So what you're about to hear now is her message to me the day after I set those mouse traps.
Okay.
By the way, there's over 200 voicemails here on this moment.
Speed it up.
There we go.
Stop your mama if you can. We hit the jackpot on all those scripts. We need to keep it going, please. Have a good day, man.
I'm gonna play that one more time.
Stop your mama if you can. We hit the jackpot on all those scripts. We need to keep it going, please. Have a good day, man.
Let me translate that for you. That means we caught 10 mice on 10 traps. What that meant was, I need you to bring your behind back up here, get all 10 of those mice off the trap. Yeah, touch the trap. Reset the trap and put them all back out. We hit the jackpot. The jackpot for who? You know. So I said all that to say this, and I'll bring this to a close. Everybody needs somebody. Okay? Did I want to go up there and do that every time she called me? I would be lying to you if I said that. Okay? All the statements that you heard today, none of them were exaggerated, and all of them were the truth. All right? I knew that Jesus was paying attention, standing at the door, Revelation 3 and 20. He's standing right there at the door right now. Okay? You have the ability to do it. But you decided for yourself you weren't going to do it. Take yourself out of it and follow the laws of God. If you know somebody needs help, do what you can to assist them. Sister Ruby would appreciate that. Okay? I just gave you a few examples of the requests that she asked. Okay? But I want you to know that she lived the last days of her, or I'm sorry, the last years of her life to the full. Whenever she had a need, I answered that call. And she died a very happy person. Okay? Now, just to kind of bring you up to speed on how everything ended, Ruby did get diagnosed with breast cancer last year. She had a mastectomy and everything, and she recovered from that and popped back up so quick. Ruby was tough. I'm talking about old school tough. I'm talking about she ended up slipping and falling outside, bust her head bleeding. She'll pop right back up and be like, yeah, just stop the bleeding. I'll be all right. I got to get back in here and do those dishes. Okay? So I knew the Lord was standing at the door, and I knew he knew my thoughts. He knew I was very able, didn't matter if I was tired or not, to fulfill the request of your grandmother. Okay? He was a witness of that. Sooner or later, if your name is not in this book, that book is going to close. And if your name is not in that book, you're in trouble. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and close here.
Bathroom.
Okay. I had one other speaker to end here, but it looks like she had to go use the bathroom. But that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you very much for coming out, and thank you very much for listening.